money going every month? There's lots of us that get to the end of the month and wonder where on earth our money has gone. So let's look at a need versus a want. Obviously needs are a little bit more difficult to manage because those are things that you absolutely need to have on a monthly basis. But a want is more something where you don't necessarily need it, but ideally you'd like it. And that's where a lot of people tend to have the most problems with managing their money, is to try and determine how they manage those things that they would want. And of course we live in a society where we want everything, and usually we want it yesterday rather than what we're prepared to wait for it in the future. So if you actually sat down and looked at what you spent on a monthly basis and make a list of the top 10 things that you feel fit into the category of a want, i.e. those things that you would ideally like to have, but if it really came down to it, you don't necessarily have to have. And write them down on a piece of paper, rank them in order of importance of 5, from 1 through to 10, and then put a value on it, like put a bit of an idea on how much you think you spend on each of those 10 things on a monthly basis. Now we've got to look at doing and saying, okay, of those 10 things, what are the things that are really important to me? So it's still not necessary, but that you'd really like to have. And what we're going to look at is low sacrifice versus high sacrifice. I.e. the sort of things that might be, for instance, are low sacrifices. You might have, let's say, 3 lattes every day that you have on your list. But maybe if you dropped it back to 1, that's not actually a big sacrifice for you. But there may be something else that is, let's say, a dinner out once a week with your partner that you rank as really, really important to you. So now what you've got to do is say, now that you've ranked them all, what we've got to do is we're going to get rid of the low sacrifice things, i.e. the sort of things that you really like to have but they're not that important for you, and you probably would not miss them if you didn't have them, and then still keep the things that are of a high importance to you, and if you didn't have them, they would be a big sacrifice for you. So now you can actually look at your list and say, well, I'll keep those 3, 4, 5 things because they're really important to me, but those other 5, I'm quite happy not to have those because I'd rather save the money and put it into reducing my mortgage or something else that's going to help you get ahead financially. And I think it's going to make a big difference to the way that you manage your money, because it's really surprising, when we stop buying some things, they don't actually make a difference in our life. And hopefully going through this exercise, it will make it a little bit easier for you to manage your money on an ongoing basis.